opportunity to serve on the aviation subcommittee. Kansas is sometimes referred to as a flyover state, but we have an awful lot going on there. One of the things that's going on there is that we have a regional air traffic control center in Olathe, Kansas, which is in the district that I represent. And I had the opportunity to go by and actually visit the facility and walk onto the floor where the folks who are navigating the planes were at. And the stress that I felt just walking through there was pretty intense, because you know that there are thousands of lives in the hands of the folks that are doing that. So I want to, because I've been, my mom was in the Army, now she works for the post office. So many people in my family have been federal employees and are career civil servants. And I want to thank Ms. Nelson and Mr. Bunce for one, recognizing our federal civil service workers as both unsung heroes, and also calling out the sometimes demonization and that sort of thing, because our federal civil service really keeps this country going in a lot of ways. So one of the things I want to ask about is, I've heard a lot of questioning about safety, and I'd like to hear both actually from anyone who wants to respond to this, the kind of mental health of the folks who are under the stress of keeping so many of us safe while we're in the air, but also the impact that the shutdown had on sometimes it's morale, but it extends much further than that. I don't know if you've been hearing from really, I feel like every single one of you, whether it's safety, the flight attendants, the air traffic controllers. Could you speak to that a bit?
Sure, I would love to. Thank you for the question. During the shutdown, and to an extent currently right now, because they're not made whole financially, it was demoralizing. They did their job. They did nothing wrong. They came to work. They were used as political pawns for an issue that, quite frankly, wasn't germane to aviation at all, and this has happened time and time again. We've seen, over a dozen opportunities for possible shutdowns in the last 18 months. We've experienced 3 shutdowns, and it is demoralizing to start working on programs that is going to get shut down and spend time away from your family to be a subject matter expert for the next generation of air traffic control equipment, and then not being able to implement this, and then now we're going to start back up, but it's going to take 6, 8 months to get back to normal. It is absolutely, I think that between the fatigue, the risk in the system, and the devalued that they felt coming to work day in and day out, will have lasting effects throughout their career.
Yeah, thank you. And, visiting the facility, you saw the air traffic controllers and where they work behind the scenes, below, back in the equipment room. Our folks have to maintain that equipment. They have to keep that up and running. And the pressure, the stress to make sure that it's running properly. Meanwhile, they have to think about their personal lives, their families, and all the other work, the distractions. And they're professionals. It takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years for technicians at certain locations, sometimes longer. And they consider themselves, as the inspectors do, as our administrative support. We're all in this together and keeping the system safe. And to have a slap in the face again to say, you're not important. You don't. Some of them don't go to work. You get paid maybe eventually. Pulling savings out, pulling college out. There's some examples I have that one of the technicians said, I can't get my insulin. I'm not going to go to the doctor and get a surgery I need because I don't know how to pay for it. Meanwhile, he's certified in air traffic control equipment. His head's not in the game 100%, but yet they showed up every day to do the job they needed to do. Our inspectors, unfortunately, did not. So I know the question has been asked, is the system safe? Yes, it's safe, but now the inspectors have to go back, and that pile of information that the industry sends over to the FAA for review, is there something that was missed? Did a plane take off that maybe should or shouldn't have? Did a pilot or someone have an issue? We don't know until they go through and comb through that. I believe, as Mr. Callio said and others, nobody's going to take off on an unsafe condition, but we don't know what we don't know. And these folks say, we want to do the job, pay us, let us do our job. And that is going to, as Paul said, reverberate in new people. We just had a meeting yesterday in Oklahoma City with trainees, and we were out there talking to those folks. They're questioning whether they want to stay in the FAA now because of that. They're questioning, will it be another shutdown? Will there be another impact? Or should they go and find another job? So, yeah, it really is a demoralizing activity.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Davids. Now I want to recognize the pride of